Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 5 of season 3 of the Dark Rooms podcast. I'm Psychic here with, you know the drill by now.
What? That's what? No,
no, that's not how you say it. You say Inky.
Someone's first episode.
You're here with Inky, Ozone, and underscore, and we're all specifically Halloween themed today.
True.
Because it's October 1st.
It's got nothing to do with the episode.
Hey,
but it's important.
It's
Inky,
cool,
what's your favorite spooky color?
What constitutes a spooky color?
It's up to you.
Orange.
Orange is nice for.
Orange
Hopefully, you're not a
nice.
colorblind candy cane.
Sure. Let's see. I mean,
All right, we're
purple,
going with orange.
I guess.
We're going with purple. Okay.
I like purple.
All right, we're going with purple.
I like purple year round, so I gotta switch up at Halloween.
That makes sense. And orange is a good one to switch to because it kind of complements it, you know.
Yeah.
This is not the Halloween episode.
That's true, but it is October now.
Yet
It's October
both of
now.
you. Hey, both of you put on Halloween PFPs. We're not gonna not comment on that. I literally asked the chat to pick my
It is
PFP.
spooky month.
It is spooky month.
But we are going to be doing a Halloween episode, I think. Like last time.
Will it
And
be
that's gonna be a
episode
lot of fun.
10? It
No,
might
but
have to
we'll
be, or-
probably still do it live.
Okay,
Would it
cool, yeah.
happen? Would it happen to
Yeah.
involve making spooky stories again?
I
I
hope
think
so.
we should. That would be nice. That
Because
was really fun last
It was
year.
so much fun last time.
At this current time, I already have a story in the works.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. But we have to give each other prompts though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No, I already have something I'm working on though.
no. I mean, the rest of us could. We'll figure it out. We're taking up time on the
Yeah.
episode. Anyways, we're live in the Ozone Discord.
Right.
We've got a bunch of people in the chat. Hello, everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
And they're all very excited for our subject matter today because, as you can probably tell from the title, today we are going to be talking about the rise and potential fall of Stitchline Games. Is it true? What does it mean? What are the problems? What are the pros? What are the cons? What does it all mean? That's what we're here to discuss today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Now, Inky,
gonna
put on your new
Okay.
Halloween profile picture.
Me and Ghost have been at the
Actually, you know what?
forefront of
Thank you,
this.
Psychic. I actually really like this a lot.
Thank you.
Unrelated, but
I'm gonna keep improving
if
it.
you want to if you want to see what Psychic did to my profile picture, make sure to join the Discord, the Ozone Discord.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, because this is your first series or whatever, we call our chat Jordan. Because I
That's a
don't know.
gender neutral name.
Not gonna
It's-
question it.
It is gender neutral. I didn't think about that.
Isn't that exactly why we named it that back in the day?
Sounds like that's not. I can't tell though.
I mean, we can
Anyway.
change it again. Maybe like.
Bro, renaming time.
So
rename-
let's
Do we
stop
want
getting
to
off
rename the
topic.
chat?
No,
Good
it's
point.
called Jordan, and it will forever be Jordan.
Okay.
So
All right then.
today
Point
we're talking
taken.
about Stitchline Games, and that, for anybody who doesn't know, oh my god, Inky's profile picture is amazing.
Wait, what
Don't
is
change
it?
the subject. Don't get off topic.
Wait,
yeah.
is that actually? Wait, that's not just inverted. That's like actually purple.
Yeah, I went through and actually
Psychic just whipped it up.
yeah.
That's really
It
cool.
actually works really well. Yeah, but Psychic, you need to be a different color to orange. now,
Psychic,
because
you
obviously it's
still
orange.
don't have the.
Guys,
I'm-
come on! It's Stitchline.
Anyway, Stitchline
No. I have something to say, Psychic. I turned your logo into a freaking vector file, and you still haven't used it because you don't have Illustrator, do you? Do you remember that? I remade
oh.
your entire logo.
Oh, look at that! I gotta go.
Bruh.
Don't get back here.
I'll
Alright.
figure it out. Okay.
Stitchline Games is the theory.
That's a good audio bit.
Stitch Stitchline, as in like the Stitchwraith, all of that, the whole timeline of the Fazbear Frights and the stories that intertwine with it are all in the game's timeline, which is such a cool concept. But is there enough evidence for it? That's what we're going to be talking about
That's
today.
the big thing.
For a bit of elaboration on how like frights, we're not even going to talk about Tails because Tails is like
Tails
Tails
is
can't
like-
Well-
Tails can't exist without frights, right?
Well,
I don't know.
We're not far enough in.
We're
yet,
not there
for
yet,
sure.
but
Yeah.
let's just clarify right now. Stitchline Games is not every Fazbear Fright story. It's the ones that intertwine, and There's some. Okay, I classify Fright stories into 3 categories: ones that are directly connected to Stitchline and we know it, ones that can be and there's no problem, and ones that are impossible and can't be.
Yes.
Can someone name some of the ones that are impossible?
What we found.
Disagree.
Okay, Psychic.
You just say?
Psychic. What do you mean disagree?
Okay, guys, hear me out. Okay, hear me out.
Oh no.
Okay, buddy, what you got?
What if it is
We're
possible?
hearing.
Okay, listen. I'm just saying, if like, Hudson was the night guard of night 1 only, I think that would make sense. And then he dies and is replaced.
I love how the entirety
Okay.
of night
Okay, but
1
like
we are sitting in an
Stitches.
office.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Springtrap just isn't there on night 1.
Exactly. Exactly. He isn't there.
Did they put him back in the pizzeria?
No, he isn't there because why would Michael be there if Springtrap isn't there?
That's.
He works every FNaF related job. Anyway, okay, this is not the
Hudson
discussion.
plays on night 2.
Also,
Which is why they get Michael in there during
Listen,
night 2.
I know someone who keeps saying Hudson's the FNaF 3 guard, and I just cannot take it. I just can't take it, man.
Yeah. It
Oh, I'm
can't
gonna
be.
love this episode.
Anyways, it doesn't really matter, honestly.
Oh, I already love this episode.
What we found is clearly one of the stories that is debatable, like, to be
Right.
impossible.
What are the other ones that
Debatably.
are actually? Prankster.
Coming Home is another one that comes up a lot.
Prankster coming home. There was like
I've heard
one
that
more.
like coming
The
home
new kid.
doesn't. I've
The
heard that
new
coming
kid.
home doesn't actually isn't actually impossible because technology is inconsistent or
So,
something. I don't know about
It
that.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a modern day MCI. I don't think. But Susie is very inconsistent.
She has
Oh,
like
true.
brown hair.
Clearly, she is.
Apparently,
inconsistent.
she is freed at the end of the story. Anyway.
Or she has brown hair too. It's weird.
Yeah.
But in the image, isn't it blonde?
In the game
Yes,
she's blonde.
but
No, but like
We
I
don't
mean,
the
like,
just-
ultimate guide's fault. That is the ultimate guide's fault.
we
Let's just
cannot
clarify
trust the
that.
Ultimate Guide's images. We just can't.
but they were made by the
Remember when-
artists. What?
Hey, do you remember when they
I
were
don't-
supposed to be little paper plastic glasses in Dance With Me, and they were like sunglasses in the image? Did you see that?
Do you remember
Okay.
back?
I think we'll get into the.
Do you remember
Ultimate
back when they were
Guide.
first like teasing the stories, and in Lonely Freddy the doll was just like a little girl doll, not a foxy doll? Do you remember
Neither
that?
the doll nor the kid match the characters from that story. I think
Oh, yeah,
they're
no,
a
none of
completely
the-
different victim.
None of the art for Fazbear Frights as they were coming out actually matched the character descriptions in the book. They were definitely like made before.
So would you trust the
Um,
art of the story? Because
I mean,
Probably
do
the
we need,
story.
do we need to
Story.
trust the art at all? Like, why would that?
We.
No.
Well,
I was going over
do
a
you-
similar. What?
Do you trust the appearance of Henry VIII, or do you trust a drawing of Henry VIII? Like, there's a big
Well,
difference.
if they coincide, then sure. But yeah.
I was going over something like this with Ghost last night. It was that you should really rather trust something you see as like a full 3D model rather than a minigame sprite, because the minigame sprites are so freaking goofy.
They're also
yeah.
like very stylized.
So you got to really pick the hierarchy of what you trust more, basically.
I think they're more like memories, kind of like the 2D 8-bit
Yes.
things.
Anyways, where did Stitchline Games start? And when
Yeah.
did it rise to popularity? What was like the height of it? What was the evidence? And when did it crumble?
So
If at all.
it's tell
back.
me if I'm wrong, but I think the big rise in popularity was because of the Ultimate Guide.
Yes. I think before that though, I believe wasn't like MatPat already kind of like on the thing where he was like
no,
trying to connect them or
no.
no?
I don't think
Okay.
MatPat ever has really.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was just
he's-
big on parallels, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you,
okay,
I was
Yeah.
actually rewatching some of the old videos just for the heck of it. And in this one where he talks about Fetch, he talks about how he believes that these are like a separate continuity. But he also calls out when the book series was first announced that he believed that some would be connected to the games, some to the novels, and some to just the books themselves.
Now,
Because it was
I
like
do-
like spinning from different corners of the series canon.
Yeah. So I do have all the quotes and he does say two things. Scott says one, some will be connected to the games, and the other quote is that some look to the novels to fill in the holes from the past, which doesn't mean they're connected, but they can fill in stuff, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And the big spark that I know for certain was definitely the Ultimate Guide saying that the locker evidence was from Pizzeria Simulator. That was the
Right.
spark.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ultimate Guide is extremely unreliable.
we
in a lot
could
of
get
different
into
senses.
that.
Yeah, we'll get into that, I think, because that's what it picked up speed there. Then it became a very popular theory. There was a lot of it was interesting how used to it a lot of us got, and like we were just like filling in all
Yeah.
these pieces. Like, oh, well, Stitchline Games kind of explains everything with Burn Trap and
Can we
everything
talk
that happened
about? Can we
there.
quickly talk about canon? Like how? Listen,
The word
guys,
canon.
the books are
Okay.
canon. They are canon. It's
Okay,
the continuity
look.
that's in question.
When
Yeah,
I
canon
think
and
everybody,
continuity.
I think everybody knows that, and people correct
I don't
everybody
know.
for it all the time. But when we say canon, we like mean in the same continuity.
I'm just
It's just
looking-
easier to say canon.
I'm just looking at Chad. Just want to make sure.
Well, you could
Yeah.
say this is canon, or you could say this is specifically canon to the games. I think those two sentences mean very different things. If
They
you
do.
if you consider information as canon, all information
Yeah.
that's ever been made about FNAF that's discernibly reliable is canon. There's no thing that happens or information that's not possible. You see what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
There's
it's-
nothing that happens in the trilogy that's like, no, that couldn't happen in the games.
It's
Right.
the context of what they're canon to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the books are canon to Five Nights at Freddy's, but are they canon to the games of Five Nights at Freddy's?
No.
Yes.
It's all
There's a
messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's mainly in debate when it comes to Stitchline Games.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, just like
Uh,
in case
yeah.
people watching the episode or listening to the episode got confused, I was just making that clear.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do we want to
So-
get into then?
It definitely rose in popularity. It became kind of just a mainstay for some people. I know I think there were
It
some
was
who
my
just never
mainstay.
really. Yeah, it was. I
It was-
know
it was mine,
Ozone
yeah.
underscore. Yeah, I was at a point where I wasn't like a diehard fan of it, but I was like, this is where I think the evidence points, and I'm willing to be swayed otherwise. But right now, the evidence looks like Stitchline Games, which is funny because of how it all turned out. But yeah, for quite a few months, that was just kind of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And in these last few weeks, in particular, things have just like taken a full 180. So
Do you want to know the story of what sparked like the 180?
the revolution,
Yeah. Do you want to know what sparked the revolution?
sure.
Back to the Future.
I don't remember. I don't remember what Pinball said, but he said something that made us look back on the Freddy files. And no, it was this.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
it was this weird Scott Steam post, which I'd never
Yeah.
seen, that talked about the author of the Freddy files. And
Oh, yeah.
have you ever heard of this?
I have. I did read through it.
I
yeah.
have.
You told us about it, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it was that he had gone through multiple ideas of like in-game investigator, out-of-game fan trying to solve the games, and then someone trying to mislead you, and that the like some of the sticky notes and markings left in the book were remnants of those old characters. So we thought, one of these characters can mislead us. Should we look back and see if there's anything deliberately misleading in the Freddy files? That's basically what we thought.
Yeah,
And-
so
and,
what
and
did-
that would,
And what did
and I
that
believe
lead
that
to?
would only. I believe that would only apply to the first one because
Yeah.
that was
Which
the
is-
that was the book.
I
of
don't
that
know.
thing.
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
hear me out. Because if the remnants of those other ideas are still there in the first one, the other books didn't go through that problematic process in the writing, so I don't think it would have had the same remnants of the issues.
I'm not sure
I
because
agree with that, Inky.
we still have those markings, and there is no clearly defined character. It's still just here's some funny info or
Right.
here's
There's a lot of
did he
assumptions.
say? Did he say which author they settled on?
No.
no.
He didn't say if they even settled on there being a specific canon author.
So I don't think we
It's like
should.
a blank personality completely.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
what
know
I'm
if they're
thinking.
in
So I don't think
universe or out of universe.
I don't
Yeah.
think past the first book, because that's where the remnants were that he specifically mentions. I don't think past the first book it would be reasonable for us to assume that they're lying to us. However, I do think,
I agree.
as we'll get into, there are some big inconsistencies and just false information.
Yeah. There's a lot of assumptions you could make, like, but at some point it does become cherry picking of this information is not true, this information is true.
Mhm.
What was the other thing? You do you want to hear a funny pitch? We could try this. I've never tried this. I should go into the Freddy files, assuming every text written in red is by Mike.
Oh boy.
Oh no,
How does that change things?
I don't know.
it's impossible. I'm sorry.
Imagine trying that though. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
the Ultimate Guide, he writes in red. It'd be funny.
Basically, what you're saying is that that point being brought up as far as like the inconsistent or unreliable authors of the books kind of puts all of the books under scrutiny, and you kind of notice all the inconsistencies and the mistakes that are there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
See, if Mike was like the red pen guy in Ultimate Guide, that would just mean that the Phasma Frights are literally just stories in universe.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird, bizarre idea.
Well,
Cover
Phasma
up?
Frights, that entire section doesn't have any red. They're just police reports.
Yeah.
Which I actually really liked that. I thought that was really cool.
It's a really cool way to do those.
I think they could have done it better, but it's still kind of a cool concept. Anyway, do you want to get
So-
into the main crux of Stitchline Games, or?
Yeah, and that would be essentially taking apart the Ultimate Guide, right?
I think so.
We can talk about the unreliability.
Well, I mean, that's kind of where all of the evidence to take it apart comes from.
Now, Ghost actually just pinged me with like 5 images that are some of the biggest examples of inconsistencies in the guide. If you want to go over
Yeah.
I think we could.
Okay.
Do we want to start with that then?
Let's start with that.
those, dude. Okay, first one, and this one blew my mind. Let me read this excerpt. The grave. Could the glitching grave on the hill belong to the reluctant follower, or could this be a reference to Afton himself? Interestingly enough, the glitching tombstone is surrounded by 7 other tombstones as opposed to the usual 6.
And this is FNaF VR. Yeah.
Tell me what's wrong with this Curse of Dreadbear line.
I mean, why? This isn't like a little kids TV show. Like, just tell us. I mean, I obviously know the answer.
No.
The answer's
Can
obvious.
you point out what's wrong with
you
this?
point out
Can
what-
you-
Boy, Dora.
It's the freaking
Psychic, there
7.
are-
It's the freaking 7 gravestones. Apparently, there's 8. Which
Yeah,
there
there's
are
freaking
just-
8.
There's just
And
Okay, so-
I actually got gaslit by this for months. I didn't know there were 8.
yeah,
It's because the image they use like makes it really hard to see the 8th one.
That's
Right.
so
Okay,
crazy. Yeah.
but okay, so freaking Lolly's game had freaking 5 words instead of 6.
Right.
I don't think
that was just
I-
a writing mistake.
Yeah, I
though.
don't think that's like, oh, this book's unreliable.
Okay.
Well,
here's the
if it was the
problem.
only thing, then maybe. But
How many mistakes does it how many mistakes does it make to make the book a mistake?
I think
Yeah,
Also,
'cause
I think-
I make so many mistakes in
personally-
my life. That means I'm a mistake, right?
I think it
Yes.
depends on like the
Hey.
quality of the mistakes, not the quantity of mistakes.
I also
But
think.
here's
Well, here about that, the quality of the mistakes. The Ultimate Guide is supposed to be a book that contains like information, like a standard for
Yeah.
like thinking about the story. Whereas the mistake in Lally's game is just an error in like a number of words, and it's very easy to see what it was trying to mean, and that it's just a line in the book that doesn't affect too much on the plot.
And
So-
if we know in the Ultimate Guide there's loads of mistakes, we don't know if the things that are supposed to be true are true or not.
Yeah,
Right.
so the big
It's unreliable
problem
at that point.
is that we have like the security breach files, and one, there's no new lore, and they get a lot of things wrong. Those are the 2 things that you have to consider,
Yeah.
and I think based on those 2, we've deemed them unreliable. The problem with the Ultimate Guide is it has 2 details that conflict. One, it has very important lore info and some things that we didn't even know. and two, it has some inconsistencies. So what are we supposed to trust more when it has both good and bad? That's why the Ultimate Guide is such an anomaly.
And we can't,
And
you can't really use it without cherry picking. So that's why
Yes.
it's kind of just abandon it completely because we can't have those inconsistencies.
I could point out a few more of the inconsistencies.
Yeah, we could go through some more because if it was just one mistake,
I was just gonna say like that's why I think either we are able to use all of it or we're able to use none of it.
It's really an all or nothing, yeah.
And we'd have to just base on the actual stories and stuff instead of looking at the guide. Oh, that
which would change a lot about the FNaF lore. Like,
that
if we added all these mistakes.
There's a specific example that I really like from the Ultimate Guide that's like a new piece of info that I think is right that we didn't know, but then there's like all these inconsistencies. It's that the Ultimate Guide says in AR, the objective to collect a remnant only appeared after the virus took over the systems.
Huh?
Did you know that?
Okay.
To collect remnant in AR, that objective only started after the virus took over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine that the delivery service would be tasked with collecting remnant before that.
I suppose that could just be some sort of weird common knowledge thing, but okay, whatever. Other amazing details that are wrong. Let's see. Potential. I guess that's not wrong. It's more of a theory. I'm not listing that one. That's more of a theory. It does state that the yellow rabbit in Into the Pit is a man dressed as a yellow rabbit.
Isn't that how they describe it in the like before he comes out of the pit? Isn't it just like they think it's like, oh, it's just a man in the costume? Like,
I can't remember exactly how it's described,
Ozone,
but I do remember it being a bit more like creature-like because it was less of a guy in the suit. I mean, it's tricky because like it's supposed to represent someone in the suit, obviously, because that's what we know happened.
Right.
So,
but in the actual story itself, it was more described as like a creature almost.
I actually think that one's okay. Underscore.
Okay.
At the end, I believe there's like a line that says that all that was left was just an empty suit. So that implies that there was something in the suit before.
Right.
The debate is if it's a man or not.
I agree. It was like animalistic. Like it was more of a creature.
Regardless of that,
I think there was supposed to be like a man. Yeah.
Regardless of like whether it was literally a man, because of the context around the event that we know.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they would call it that. Like I wouldn't consider.
Well, they're not just going to say there was a yellow rabbit. They're going to say it's like a man dressed in a rabbit suit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I can only think of two more examples, and then the very final one, which is what broke the camel's back. What were those two examples? Do you think
Impulse 7 has pointed out one as well?
Do you think the ball pit actually does time travel?
No.
I love how the Ultimate Guide calls it a time traveling ball pit.
Well, I mean, that's how we all refer to it. I mean, like
that is how it was referred. But if it is official Ultimate Guide material, they would probably call it what it actually is.
They also say that the thing that's happening in Step Closer is a curse.
It does say it's a curse, yeah. When we know it's somewhat of it, at least, is Eleanor.
I'm seriously not trying to just disagree with everything. But I also just
it's good to have the counterpoint.
Yes.
On the back of the
I agree
book,
with you, Psychic.
on the back of the
think
book,
of one as well.
On the back of the book, it is described as a curse. So I can see why the Ultimate Guide would say that. Because don't you remember the back of book 4?
If you want an explanation that makes it a curse, Andrew's agony in the Foxy thing, it technically does curse him, but Eleanor's the one who ends up benefiting in the end.
Question: what is the? I forget. How does Eleanor and Andrew's agony connect to Step Closer?
Awesome.
That's what you're talking about, right?
It's like the black goop.
Well, there's a wait. Is there like black goop around Foxy at the beginning?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my gosh. There was this people thought it was like a freaking ritualistic circle or something. Is it like
there is. There's like a circle of candles at the start of Step Closer.
What? That makes it sound like it's a freaking ritual.
Let me look at it. I can grab the book.
There's a demonic ritual, yeah.
That's why it seems like a curse, but you'd think maybe it's Andrew's agony and Foxy that just got shipped out from the distribution center.
That is unexplained to me.
A freaking ritual. That's new.
At one point, I will say.
I don't know if that's Andrew's agony. Let me look
That's
at
so
it. I'm
weird.
a step closer here.
Okay,
ritual?
one thing I will say is in the Ultimate Guide, they're not just gonna explain everything to us. So it kind of does make sense that they would say time travel and a curse because,
Right.
you know, that is
Well,
the apparent thing that is happening.
What actually happens in the Pit like gets revealed later in the epilogues, so it's not
Yeah.
like it would be new information to call it not a time traveling ball pit, because we know that it's
But
just not time travel.
By itself, it kind of because isn't that in like the new lead section?
Something.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
But I don't know. I think it makes sense for them kind of
Yeah.
to say that, even though it's not that.
Do you want the final one that broke the camel's back?
Sure.
Sure.
So we had this crazy cool map of like how frights would fit into the games and then lead into security breach. But one detail the Ultimate Guide says about fetch makes it impossible.
Oh yeah.
What?
Do you know this one?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know this.
It says that the fetch place, the fetch like location, has been closed for like 10 or more years. And if you want to take the bare minimum years, 2023 for FNaF 6, 2028 for the Mana Room 1280. Wait, is that how math works? That's not how math works. 2025 for the Mana Room 1280. Ship out the fetch in 2025. Close for 10 years, that's 2035. We think security breach is in 2035. That math doesn't add up.
Now, Pinball in the chat is saying that it does say seemingly, but
Yeah.
so I agree that that's like we can call it into question, but
Yeah.
Counter
if
argument.
they could have said seemingly been closed for years. They didn't have to specify 10.
Hey, counter argument.
Well-
10 is never mentioned actually in the story ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is like with the Ultimate Guide is they always say like it's seemingly confirmed.
God,
It's
I hate the word seemingly
apparently
so much these
confirmed that
days.
this happens. So that is also completely unreliable because we don't know if that is genuinely confirmed or not. Because they're just saying it seems to be confirmed that this is this and this is this.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
a huge
I'm
issue
gonna-
with the Ultimate Guide.
I'm gonna actually disagree because with stuff like the theory, like, or it's like seeming like, oh, it's seemingly confirmed. That's like talking like outside of the games, where it's like people outside the
I mean,
games
that's
seemingly
kind of-
agree with this, but inside the game, oh, like, you know, like they can be like in
mean-
the actual world itself, it seems like it's been closed for a long time, even if it hasn't
The
been.
thing is, like Underscore said, 10 years is never mentioned in the book, so this is still from that outside perspective.
It's a new detail that they didn't have to mention. Is basically the thing. It's like you could have said close for some years, but oh, you have a specifically 10 or more? That's oddly specific.
However, I do think that there is a point in saying that we can't really use this as actual evidence if we're calling the entire Ultimate Guide unreliable. Because this would just be another debatably unreliable thing. So it's not really able to be used for or against Stitchline.
Dude, someone else jump in with some information. I got something we could do, but I feel like I'm hogging
I saw
wherever this is
one
getting guided.
earlier. Oh, it was Impulse Evan who said that the Ultimate Guide contradicts itself.
Oh?
No.
no.
Yeah, it does.
How?
The book states that Shadow Bonnie is confirmed to help the spirits, then later says that he wants to kill you to produce more remnant.
First of all, where does the remnant come in?
Wait.
Counter argument. That's not true.
Hang on,
does
Inky.
counter.
No, you go on the score.
Me?
Sorry.
Oh, how about you? Then why not you?
No, because you always say
Underscore.
this to me.
Just talk,
Okay.
please.
Oh my god. Okay. It does say in like a FNaF 2 section or something, or FNaF 3 maybe, that the shadows do want to help the kids. It
Right.
later on says perhaps it wants to kill you to make more agony as an option, but it doesn't state it as a fact.
Oh,
It says
okay.
that it is warning you to stop collecting Shadow Remnant, or it wants to make more. You know what I mean?
Now,
It
So
does-
that's another
Cool.
perhaps, because it's like it never wants to be clear on anything.
the other
But helping
thing
the
is,
kids does seem to be
yeah,
like factual.
you say you say they want to help the kids,
Yeah.
but in FNaF AR, like we're not a kid, so of course they'd attack us.
Yeah.
That's a good
That
point
is
as
true.
well.
Like they are antagonists. They want to help the kids.
I can think of
Either
reasons
way-
to diss the Ultimate Guide, but that's not the best one, in my opinion, at least.
Okay. That's
also,
fair.
also like I remember hearing once like, oh, it's like the shadows both want to help the kids and people disagreeing with that. What is that about? Where it's like one helps the kid, one hurts the kid, because I don't remember that at all.
It's
Oh, God.
that Shadow Bonnie's freeing a kid in a FNAF 3 minigame, which that's debatably even Shadow Bonnie who's doing
I think
that.
it is. I think it's
And Shadow Bonnie
Yeah.
killing people in AR.
And oh well, no, that would be Eleanor in hide and seek, right?
So
Yeah.
And hide and seek, yeah.
I
If that's not Eleanor.
Really?
what I'm hearing is there are like workarounds for each of these individual things, but first of all, it makes the entire book more unreliable, and secondly, it just makes Stitchline Games seem a lot less likely because there are all these different workarounds that we have to do in order for it to be correct.
Indeed.
Do you want to know the biggest one that we came up with that's not even from the Ultimate Guide? It's just like looking objectively at frights.
Yeah.
Dude, let's talk about Into the Pit.
Oh no, this one.
Let's
This one's so
talk.
dumb. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I see Ghost laughing. He knows what I'm going to bring up. Let's talk
Oh,
about
wait.
Into the Pit's missing children's incident.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I know.
We're
I know
talking about-
multiple things that are
Where-
a problem with Into the Pit.
Even if it's a weird memory conglomerate of crap, that's 6 dead children.
Not only that, they're not missing; they are found, and that's
Well,
why the
friends
story
can't count.
happens.
I mean,
Also, I don't. This might be a like continuity error. Freaking Into the Pit's happening in July.
Yep, and that can't be true if it's the missing children's incident, which happens in June. But
Yeah.
even if, like, regardless of the timing, regardless of the number, just the fact just the fact that Oswald knows that it happened, the fact that he saw it, means they're not missing. Like, other people were screaming and running away. That's not missing. They found them. It's
Yeah.
the FCI. Found children.
Well, I will put a counter argument to that.
I could
I
also
think
make counter argument to that.
Ghost makes the argument, or someone, I don't know who, made the argument that the fact that he's seeing them means that someone else had to have seen them. I disagree in the fact that he may be working off a memory from the rabbit thing, and it of course saw them and killed them.
Even then,
But
people
either way,
running and
they are in a
screaming.
panic. Yeah.
Yeah, why would they be in a panic?
I mean, one is still like, where's Susie? Like, where, you know what I mean? They're still
Could they
wondering
just
where
be
their
in a
kid
panic
is, though.
because kids just went missing?
Well, the thing is, that's tricky because it's hard to gauge exactly how someone would react, but I don't think running and screaming and everybody running away from the pizzeria would make sense if they didn't find anything. They'd be looking for them in the pizzeria.
Yeah, even if it's the Pit Spring Bonnie's memory, which I was saying, that means he had to have seen 6 dead kids. So the numbers don't mix. And that's
Listen,
the biggest
I-
one for why Stitchline.
I can BS my way through an answer. I cannot do the 6 dead kids, but I could try.
Okay.
I could try to BS my way through everything else if you want me to.
That's
you
the thing,
wanna
though.
try
That's
to
why.
BS it?
That's why Stitch.
Sure.
doesn't-
Like always.
Sure. I'll try. Okay, let's see here.
No problem.
So it's
I
it's
did this.
obvious-
I have a BS answer too.
it's obviously the MCI. The thing is, frickin'. So what happened was, the 5 kids, they got lured, and then the parents started freaking out, and then all the other parents freaked out, like, oh no, I gotta make sure my kid's safe. So everyone's like leaving, and then the kids are dead, and then the puppet stuffs them, and they're never found. The end.
So you're saying that? Wait, huh? Where does the puppet come in at all?
Because the puppet stuffs the kids. Everyone knows this. We saw it in FNAF too.
Do you want to
I've
hear
heard
my
I've heard that's actually debatable because
You see
I think
the
that-
freaking minigame. Are you
That-
freaking kidding me?
Are you sure that's not
No,
just giving them life? They're not the
like-
suits, they're masks.
it's representative of the puppet awakening them. It's pretty clear that even in Silver Eyes, that's how William is like
Yeah.
It's
containing
freaking
Carlton.
Charlie was first.
He stuffs his
He-
victims in suits.
He puts them in the suits to hide them.
It
No-
was
no, please- yeah,
confirmed that the
like,
puppet
chat's saying
stuffs
just-
them.
Don't believe puppet stuffed, please.
It's like a very old dead theory.
Why
What?
does it matter?
What?
It
How is it
kind of
Yeah,
does,
it's,
but like
You see it in the minigame. What?
no, that's not. It's stuffing them
puppet
into the
puts the-
suits.
They put the puppet puts the mask on them to symbolize that the spirit is going to that animatronic.
Symbolism?
Psychic.
Are you kidding me?
Yes,
It's
it's
very
symbolism.
symbolic.
Look in
Well,
FNAF 3. In
Look
the
at
FNAF minigames, they've
the
got their
Foxy
masks.
one. Look at the Foxy minigame. Do we think that Purple Guy killed them all, lined them up outside of
And then
Pirates Cove?
Foxy just saw. Yeah, no, it's
Very mu-
symbolic.
It's definitely symbolic.
All of
I-
the minigames, I've learned this in the past few weeks, and Ghost said this especially. Don't trust minigame details, and most of them are somewhat symbolic to a degree.
Like the events still happen, but obviously it's meant to be an interpretation, like a visualization of them.
It's
So-
like, there's 5 dead kids at this location, not Foxy came out and saw them all on the freaking show stage.
Plus, even in Give Gifts, Give Life, which obviously even that should be kind of like telling you what it's supposed to mean. Give life. The puppet isn't putting them in the suits; it's putting the heads on the corpses. So it's not even. It doesn't even really depict putting them in the suits if you think about it.
You've gotta be kidding me.
Look, back when I believed Andrew...
I
Hey,
think you've been ratioed psychic. I'm afraid.
Ozone, do you remember when I convinced you of Andrew Midnight Motorist, and then I immediately backtracked like a week later?
Yep.
What? It was like 2 months later.
I don't remember time like that. Anyways, so, dude, the crazy thing was, when Andrew MM was existing, the pitch for why there's 6 dead kids is, it's symbolic, and 5 die, but Andrew's soul is just there.
He's hanging out.
His soul is there because he's like in the Golden Freddy suit or something. That was it, and that William used the Golden Freddy suit for
Yeah.
some of the kills, like he does in the trilogy. That was the cope.
And
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
one
dead.
being ratioed.
Yeah, you are. Also, no, actually, we're ratioing Pinball, who keeps saying there's. Look at the image he
so
made.
Pinball has just posted an edited image of the Foxy Go 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 minigame,
Hey,
but
you know-
photoshopped another kid to make it 6 children.
You know what vibes those give me?
Yeah, this is a real Coils the Clown puppet.
Yeah, Coil's the
vibes.
puppet, yeah.
Coils the puppet vibes with
The
the.
puppet has lemon and lime stripes, everyone.
Of course. So you remember? We just collectively hallucinated that it had black and white arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm actually still looking for the description of the
Seriously.
Step Closer. I'm almost there though. I think I'm
It
found
says
it.
it's a curse.
Yeah, no,
So
that's what I'm.
why
no, I mean,
don't-
like we're talking about like the circle around it. That's what I'm finding.
Why don't we discuss
Oh.
the ramifications of Stitchline not actually being in the games? Why don't we talk about that?
Honestly, it doesn't change that much. It's just a lot to adjust to since we were so used to it.
Yeah. That would mean like Phasma Frights is its very own continuity.
Which, in a way,
in
I
itself.
like because it gets to have a lot more freedom to do cool things that it does.
I was gonna say it's a lot more flexible. Yeah.
No, we did. I'm not. Okay, Subster, I don't care. I know you say there's something wrong with AR. I don't care. Yes, the Ultimate Guide's wrong. We know it. We don't need AR evidence to. Am I saying that?
His brain's catching up with it. It's like, wait.
So basically,
Although
Clown
Subster,
debunks Stitchline Games.
Subster does bring up a good point that in special delivery emails, apparently the circuit boards that contain Glitch Trap are from animatronics rather than like the distribution center. So that's interesting. I mean, it definitely makes it look like definitely that that kind of didn't happen in Stitchline. So
Why couldn't the animatronic have why couldn't the circuit boards? Why couldn't Afton be in like a new animatronic and then they took the circuit boards out of that animatronic and then that's how?
It might
Yeah.
somewhat work like that, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but wait. Okay. Where are we going? We were going. What's the ramifications of Frights not being in the games?
Not
Yes.
not much,
Not much.
in my opinion. The only thing is Burn Trap, and Tails seems to be looking at
Now
explaining that.
I'm gonna make a pitch, which this is
Okay.
something that I would have said if I was on the last episode, but is something I was hinting at before you guys could read Haps.
Okay.
I ended off what was it? I ended off one of the episodes by saying Security Breach is the fourth closet,
Right.
Ruin is the Twisted Ones, and the epilogues are the Silver Eyes.
Right.
Do you understand now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Tell
they
me
understand.
why the epilogues are the Silver Eyes.
Because it's a similar setup.
I want someone to say the entire sentence.
Because
That
it's
it's
kids.
that it's freaking teenagers breaking
I like
into
how-
a pizzeria.
I'm just
like
a
how-
teenage
Ozone, I like how I've been trying to look for it this entire time with the physical book, and you just pulled up exactly what I'm looking
Well, he
for.
can just do control
Everyone
F.
get the ebook.
He can just do control F. That's how.
Yep. All right. Time to put the book away.
So yeah, in Step Closer, going back to this quickly, there are dark melted candles and strange black markings, and you know what that reminds me of?
So
It
what
says
the
what,
heck does
well,
that mean?
it says what looks like dark melted candle. That could just be the black
Bruh.
goop.
There were
What is
black.
the black goop then?
Agony.
There were black
wasn't talking.
symbols. There were black symbols in the cupboard that Simon was in as well.
Oh.
I mean, that-
Oh, I thought he just took a freaking marker and wrote all over the thing.
Yeah, did he not do that?
Maybe,
I think he did. I think he did.
but that is a point.
It's always-
it is definitely a point.
You know what? Regardless if it's black marker or black candles or black goop, it's always specifically like black, right?
Yeah.
That seems don't.
That
Don't.
seems don't. I agree.
Anyway.
What? That's how just agony works. Eleanor's
Yeah.
weird black tendrils too.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay. So it could still be some sort of weird agony, maybe Andrews or whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it almost doesn't matter if Frights is in a different continuity.
Yeah. It's just like It's just that's just a matter of like, do we solve Step Closer? That's just an unrelated
So-
thing. That's just
Yeah.
that's a Step Closer problem, not a Stitchline problem.
Here is my problem. Okay,
What's your problem?
Tales from the Pizzaplex, is that canon?
Yes.
That is a
right,
very
yeah.
good discussion.
Yes.
Discussion.
Now, if Tales from the Pizzaplex is canon, Frailty is probably canon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because in the Mega Pizzaplex.
Oh, I
Yep.
want to say something from the third book.
So, what would that mean for Jessica's past? Because it can't be Eleanor, surely.
Oh, I want to say something from the third book so bad.
We need to have more information before we can confirm what's going on there.
Yeah.
I will say this is a good point to bring up because I think the only thing that could bring me back to Stitchline Games
Yeah.
is if Eleanor shows
It's
up in
Tails.
Tails, because I think
agree.
the argument that there's a games Eleanor and a books Eleanor is really stupid. I think just
I agree with that.
introducing a games version of Eleanor, like with none of her like backstory from the books, would not be that would not make sense. Meanwhile, in the chat though, Pinball, the main advocate of Stitchline Games, has apparently just been won over. How did that happen, Pinball? Can you tell us?
He's still coping, thinking that Andrew's the UCN spirit.
I mean, aside from that, there was something I think Subster said. Tales from the Pizzaplex, the endo didn't burn into him? Oh wait, okay, let me see. So in the Manor Room 1280, we are told Afton is a human body who smells like burnt metal, plastic, and flesh. The endo burnt into Afton in the Stitch line, but in Tales from the Pizzaplex, the endo didn't burn into him. Okay, so burn trap inconsistency kind of thing.
Yeah. I think I've said this multiple times. I have three main problems with Stitchline Games. And that is Andrew, Into the Pit, and Dance With Me.
Dance
What's
With Me
up
is an
with Dance With
interesting
Me?
one.
Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Oh,
It's
Oh yeah. Say it. I forgot what it was.
Well, Circus Baby's Pizza World was only open for one day, so was it that day?
Oh,
I
you
mean, like,
realize you realize Dance with Me Circus Babies is like on the East Coast, right?
Oh, is
Wait,
it?
It's not in the Utah area.
when is that? Wait.
Why did you just
It's-
say that?
It's like 5 hours away from Utah.
Wait. When
Doesn't
did they
that
mention
freaking
that?
debunk it straight away?
I don't doubt it, but like, when did they say that?
Oh, sorry, 46-hour bus ride away from Utah. She takes a bus from her town to somewhere. That town that she's going to is like nowhere near Utah. It's on the East Coast. She's not taking a 46-hour bus ride out of Utah. Memphis. She's taking a bus to Memphis.
All right,
That's not
guys.
the East Coast,
All right,
but-
guys.
But
Hear
that is
me
still
out.
very far from Utah.
That is the East Coast, right?
All right, guys. Hear me out.
Tennessee is
I
not
know
the East
nothing about
Coast.
America.
Tennessee is very much landlocked.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Well-
hear me out. You guys ready for this? Hear me out.
But it's still very far from
Oh
Utah.
my
so
god, are
your
you
point
gonna
still
cope?
stands.
You gonna cope?
Wait, quantum teleportation.
No,
Shut
no,
up.
no, hear me out, guys. It's another Circus Baby's Pizza World. Just another location.
I'm going
That's
to
impossible.
scream. I'm going to scream.
What evidence of it? And don't you dare say Fun Time Chica.
Oh, good point, Icky.
No, it's not a good point.
That is actually quite a good point.
What did you say?
Because Chica's Party World.
Chica's Party World is not Circus Baby.
This is Circus Babies.
It's
This
literally
is what this restaurant is.
Actually, we know the other name of it, so it cannot be the same place.
Okay,
It's like going up to McDonald's and say, "Ah, yes, my favorite Wendy's."
look, we helped your Dance With Me thing. You said you had Into the Pit, Dance With Me, and Andrew. What's the problem with Into the Pit and Andrew?
We already talked about Into the Pit.
Well, we talked about Into the Pit.
No, well, Ozone
talked
listed
about
off his things. Well,
Yeah, we talked
well,
about
what,
Into the Pit.
Andrew.
So Andrew is the other big one because I think Andrew is a huge Cassidy parallel, and it would just make no sense for them both to exist in one timeline.
So, we went over this. You know what? I agree for like a weirdly different reason.
Interesting.
We were
Okay.
going over this weird paradox where this is gonna sound wild. This is gonna sound so crazy. Me, Ghost, and Cuban were in a call, and we were like, "Who's the Fredbear plush?" And we said Charlotte normally. You know what I mean? But we went over this like weirdly specific evidence that it's Cassidy, which makes no sense because she dies in the MCI in '85.
Right.
So
I mean, unless MCI 83 is in the cards now that Stitchline Games isn't true.
So, like Cuban said, we made this weird assumption that let's go into the hypothetical that Cassidy is like the thing that the Crying Child saw. She gets stuffed into Fredbear in '83, but she's not part of the MCI. Okay, that's the weird hypothetical. That means we got to fill in the fifth MCI kid in '85, and then we pitch Andrew. The paradox starts where if Andrew exists in the games, he's more likely to be the vengeful spirit than Cassidy, and if Cassidy's the one who dies in '83, she's more likely to be the vengeful spirit.
Why does someone
So
have to
if-
die? Why does someone
So
have to
if
die
we
in
try to
83?
fill in the blank, it
Opens
doesn't
another
work because
blank.
it opens another blank.
Why does someone
goes
have
in
to,
a circle.
Why does someone have to die in '83?
We just
He had to.
they
My
don't.
victim had to see something.
I mean, it's probably Charlotte, but we went on this weird hypothetical train that it was Cassidy.
Right.
The thing is, my only issue with it being seeing Charlotte die is why would he be afraid of the animatronic suits?
It's at Fredbear's. You think that maybe one of the animatronics killed her.
Well, the thing is, she died outside.
It's a little
though.
loose. She
She
died
died
it's still
outside,
at Fredbear's.
and well, yeah, but even then, he has no way of associating it with the suits because it's raining. So if William tried to kill her while in
Well.
the Spring Bonnie suit, he'd be dead instantly.
Well, let me pitch to you that what is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. And what if Shadow Freddy was the one who is like he does in Follow Me and the trilogy, luring him to Charlotte, and sees her dead body, thinks, that's a weird Fredbear animatronic that just lured me to her dead body. He must have killed her.
I suppose. I can accept that. Yeah. I can accept that explanation, perhaps.
It could be like,
All right, all
it's
right, all right.
acceptable.
My
But
only
that-
thing, my
that was our
still my
weird-
only thing. The only thing that I have left with Midnight Motorist that I'm a little iffy on is that while it makes sense that it's Shadow Freddy, it also doesn't to me because I personally don't think the Shadow animatronics would leave footprints.
I agree.
But then again,
Love when they can kill you.
when confronted with that, I have not seen any counter evidence.
There's
So
no
it's like-
example of them doing it, but there's nothing that says they can't. Basically,
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now.
so you'd have to give
I don't-
it a benefit of the doubt.
They seem metaphysical to me, but it's not impossible that they could leave footprints.
We don't know enough really
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You guys, you dummies, everybody knows that orange guy is Henry.
Of course. That
Why are
solves it
you?
all.
Why are you here?
Because
Oh my god!
Dang.
Why are you here?
Oh my gosh.
Underscore apologize at this instant.
I'm so sorry, Psychic.
Good boy.
Wait, we ruined the candy cane. Why are you purple?
What? Because purple's cool. Now we can be an even cooler candy cane.
We were green and orange.
I'm so sad
I just realized.
I'm so sad.
Okay. Audio listeners have absolutely no idea what's going on.
What
Uh,
else do we have?
Should we talk about Ultimate Custom Night, because I feel like that's a massive one.
That is a pretty big
Yes.
one as far as the Vengeful Spirit.
So the one you should not have killed is a huge topic to cover in Stitchline Games, because in the books it's clearly Andrew. In the games, Cassidy clearly has to be a part of it. So does that mean they're both the one you should not have killed, or does that mean that one of them just doesn't do much, or like what's happening with that?
Or one,
So,
or only
what do you
one
guys think?
exists in the games.
Yeah, exactly.
My personal opinion, probably just Cassidy and Andrew's not relevant or doesn't exist in the games. It's
I
just
believe
Cassidy.
they're talking- I believe they're talking about that in the chat right now.
What do they have? Well, yes, they are. But what do you have to say?
Well, I'm just. Well, at the moment, I'm just finding a GIF to reply to a thing with. Anyways,
Okay.
You didn't say GIF. Why do you say GIF?
I do say GIF. Fight me. Anyways,
Oh.
So-
Around the all familiar face.
As I said before,
So,
I think Andrew is a Cassidy parallel.
and I'm fine with
And-
that. Yeah.
Cassidy has to be part of Ultimate Custom Night because of Princess Quest 2.
I'm
Yes.
confused about what people are saying in the chat. I'm just gonna keep going. Anyway,
Pay attention to us, Inky.
yeah, it's
More
also
interesting.
it's also hard to tell whether people in chat are being sarcastic or not.
Pinball, don't test
Yeah.
anything Pinball's saying. He's being sarcastic.
No, I mean Subster as well. I feel because he's saying a point that I've heard for Andrew being the one you shouldn't have killed, but I don't know if it's sarcastic because
I am
Uh,
extremely against Andrew being the one you shouldn't have killed.
I mean that's always been iffy for me because
But the thing is, like, they call
Cassidy-
him a he.
they do. That's the thing.
Okay, there's
Cassidy.
a stretchy defense for that.
If it's the animatronic, if it's saying they're talking about the animatronic, I've heard it before. I've never believed it, even like since Matt Pat said it, like all those years ago.
Oh my God, there's so. I want to talk about the third book so bad.
Okay,
You can't.
question: Is Cassidy? Now, hear me out. This could spark an entire revolution in the chat. My head might be put on
I
like a
think
pole
I
and
know what you're
carried
gonna
through
say.
town. Is Cassidy being a dude off the table in the
Yes.
in the games? Yes.
Probably not.
Yes.
What debunks that?
Girl in the logbook.
Okay, no, I mean we never technically got confirmation that the logbook girl was Cassidy. Just
In the
Princess
fourth
Quest.
closet, we meet a girl named
Princess Quest.
Cassidy.
Princess Quest is fine. Fourth closet is another issue, like case of, that's just a parallel
I think
place.
Princess Quest is the best example, probably.
Okay, Princess Quest is a is a decent one. I'll admit. Yeah.
But men can be
Someone asked-
princesses.
Is Cassidy a boy, or does she have the ability to change into a boy because she can? Says someone in the chat.
I don't
Eleanor
think that's-
technology.
Either way. So for me, it's mutually exclusive. Either. For me, it's mutually exclusive because either Cassidy is the one you should not have killed, and is male, or Cassidy is not the one you should not have killed. There's no middle ground for me because it just does not work.
Yankee, let me say this. There's reasoning from the newest book to say that you can go off the animatronic gender.
But the thing is, but the spirits are talking about the spirit. They're not, because William didn't kill Golden Freddy. William killed Cassidy. Like I just don't see the workaround. And maybe when Somnophobia releases, I'll read it and have my mind blown. But for now, I'm not. It just doesn't add up.
I don't think. I think everyone's thinking too hard about this, honestly.
This sucks. The he is so annoying. It's so...
very annoying because I feel like it's another instance of cherry picking, and like you have to find a workaround rather than looking at it how it is.
I might need Ghost to back me up on this, but I really swear that something in this new book really states that at a certain point after being killed in animatronic, you can interchangeably. You're the animatronic. That's your gender now.
Oh my god.
I'm so confused. But...
Okay, Ghost, tell me how easy it is to explain.
Ghost, explain. Ghost, you know what? Should we have Ghost, like, special guest appearance
Bring him
really
up.
quick?
Bring him
Yeah,
up.
come on, Ghost.
Special,
Come.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for Dr. Ghost from the Ozone Discord server.
I know he wanted to be
Just
on.
don't spoil Somna.
Just don't.
Okay.
No,
So-
no, so
So the argument for Cassie Toysk is one, obviously Cassie's a girl, right? But the argument is that Cassidy it's referring to Golden Freddy's gender, and the argument is always Golden Freddy didn't kill Sue. But the problem with that argument is Golden Freddy and Cassidy are one and the same. There's no distinction
That's
between
anonymous, yeah.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Elizabeth and Baby. Elizabeth and Baby in the novels, they're the same person. They have the same
Counterpoint.
memories, and even with Charlie's memories in the Charlie bot mixed with Elizabeth's memories, they become one and the same. We see this with Charlie too. Charlie gets referred to a he sometimes, and that's because the puppet's a he. In the descriptions for UCN, the puppet gets called a he, even though it's possessed by a female soul.
I forgot about the puppet one.
Yeah, safe.
but
and
there's
help.
like-
Is a he.
And we see often that that when especially that things get referred to after they're possessed or after certain things happen, that they get referred to as one with their animatronic. It's their head. It's not the animatronic's head. It's their head because they are the animatronic. There's no distinction between them. And there's even lines in like the books where it's like they're bound to the characters after they get stuff. They're like it's like
Yes.
I'm pretty sure in the Four Claws it says what bound their souls so inseparably to the bear, the chicken, the bunny, the fox. They are those characters. There's no distinction between them, meaning the pronouns can be explained by it's the pronouns of the animatronic that they are.
All right, okay.
Right.
I like that explanation. Counterpoint, the face in the vents. Is that Cassidy? If so,
Yeah.
then clearly the child is still able to be seen apart from the suit.
Well, yeah, but
Yes.
it's like it's the argument that who is Toysk? Toysk is obviously a child.
Twice.
But-
Voice.
Yeah, but it's also
Hey
like,
Ghost.
like
Hey Ghost. Quick question.
but yeah.
What do you do with all the time you save by just saying Toysk?
I write full novels that are loved by
Can
the
confirm.
people in the Ozone. Yes,
Okay,
I was
cool.
about to say he wastes his time by writing FNaF lore.
but like
Oh, gosh.
so when you actually look, it's like okay, the final cutscene is Golden Freddy fading away. Golden
Yes.
Freddy is Toysk, not the spirit is also Toysk, but the spirit is also just Golden Freddy.
Okay. Again, though, we see the spirit in the vents independently as the face. We also hear the voice backing some of the other lines, being the puppeteer of all of it.
Yeah.
So, if those didn't happen, I would say absolutely that's a great explanation.
And
but
Inky, don't you
don't
remember
know.
when the game first came out? People thought it was Baby because it was a girl
Yeah,
voice.
people-
Right.
people do like that.
right,
It's like we also have to think like, what is the evidence surrounding? Because that's like that explanation. So I feel like that explanation can say like, oh, it's possible, but then you also have to look at evidence around it, and the evidence around it from like almost every game before and after is like, oh yeah, Cassie's Twisk. It's like, oh yeah, that's the answer. Like Princess Quest 2 heavily implies it. So does AR with AR confirming that Cassidy, and so is the logbook confirming Cassidy's the person who says it's me inside a Golden Freddy. It's like there's a lot of evidence that Cassidy is the one you should not have killed. And then also with that explanation with Golden Freddy, it also would be possible.
Can I beam Cuban up for just a quick second? I think he has something to add on what
Sure.
Ghost is saying because
Let's
we've all
one
talked
at
about
a time, though. I think one at a time.
Should we swap? Let's swap.
Yeah.
If
So
you're
thank
done,
you, Ghost.
I guess what? Thank you.
Thank you, Ghost. You've
so much,
enlightened
Ghost.
me.
Thank you.
All right. Now we've got
Hey,
Cuban.
what do you have to
Welcome
add,
back.
my
We've been
guy?
on a few
Cuban.
episodes.
Welcome back to the dark room.
Scott stated that he used real references for the one you should not have killed's face. His son, Jason.
Right?
Yes.
Good point. Wait, Jace? Sorry.
Jason.
So about that then, if it's Cassidy, then why not use a generic stock image of like a girl's face rather than his son?
What? He's used stocked images in the past.
Yeah, and
Could he have used a stock image outside of like his family? Of course,
hey,
But he
Inky, do you
chose
remember
his
that?
family.
Inky, do you remember that
because
one?
Yeah,
a big example is like FNaF 4. If you look in the Jordan chat,
patronizing.
yeah, he took a picture of him and his family with a snowman, or when he would go up to the mountain range,
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
The photo frames of
So
FNaF 4.
Cuban, can I?
and those are what you see in FNaF 4.
When the whole Scott and VR thing happened with his actual face, he actually made a post clarifying that he just uses pictures of his family because they're convenient and that they don't have lore relevance.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I don't think you should use like the actual details of the face as evidence.
Fair enough. I mean, like,
Yeah,
Didn't
that's,
have to
that's
go-
what I was saying.
didn't have to get the rights of a stock image
The-
or something.
Right.
The whole
Right.
point, I think, for the one you should not have killed his face is just so it has, like, a face, something
like a-
visual.
A creepy face in the vent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Because
yeah, I'm convinced. It's not like a strong convinced, but I see the points now.
and not only that, but you also have to remember that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because
Love that.
that's
Choo-choo.
something.
Choo choo.
Pinball
Yes,
said
I
something-
know.
No way. Pinball said something that just put me off track. But you also have to remember, like, even with the
Shut up.
even with the face, people would make the argument that it lines up for this certain character and stuff like that when it really doesn't. Like
Yeah.
for Bite Victim,
Yeah.
like when people say Bite Victim was the one you should not have killed.
And to be fair, if not Cassidy, I can't say I have an explanation on who it would be. Like, Cassidy's the only option. I just didn't like that there were like just contradictions that I was seeing there.
Yeah,
I don't think
And not only
anybody
that-
likes it.
and not only that, like if people argue the face for, like, say Andrew and stuff like that, his hair isn't curly, it's straight.
Mm.
Mhm.
He has a
For the
different
face.
personality as well.
Described differently.
Yep. So it's pretty strongly Cassidy. Cassidy's Golden Freddy. Bite Victim might also be Golden Freddy, but like I honestly don't. I'm not caught up.
Debatable.
On
I would agree.
I'm not
I
caught
like
up on the Bite
there's-
Victim lore. There's like
Clearly
Shadow
there's, like,
Victim, Memory
Golden Duo
Victim,
works,
like
Golden Fellow is
Shadow
fine.
Victim, or whatever.
Golden Duo can work. That's all I'll say. It can. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to, but it can.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'll
fair.
say, like, on both
It's that-
sides, whether you believe it's Andrew or Cassidy or whatever, there are problems, and that's okay. It's just kind of down to your personal belief because there isn't one defined conclusion. Of course, there's many different ways you can interpret things. So I think we're in agreement here. It's got to be Cassidy, even though there kind of are problems with it.
Don't forget Andrew's super rough voice, and then
Okay.
think of the.
I actually
the
have
UPN
an explanation for that as well.
You got that one?
He has a
So
sore throat.
the the listing for the voice acting for that voice in Ultimate Custom Night was supposed to be like super soft and vague, so that you just can't really tell who's talking. So I don't think using the vocal quality of the one you should not have killed in Ultimate Custom Night against Andrew is a super strong argument. And his voice being described as rough in the books, I don't actually think that means he sounds like a chain smoker, considering he's a child. I think that was talking about his tone, because he's like grouchy. So he's speaking in a more rough moment, not the actual sound quality of his voice.
Okay.
That's my opinion, though. Anyways, anything more to say, Cuban?
That was basically it.
All right.
Yay.
Also, the puppet.
Thank you for
dance
coming
of the
again.
kids.
The puppet
Okay,
what?
you're leaving.
What did you just say?
The puppet didn't stuff the kids in the suits.
Oh, never mind. I thought you said the
Cool, okay.
opposite. No, you're good. You're good. Dude, okay. Unless someone has something specific they want to lead off into, I do have something very specific we could jump ship
Okay,
to.
quickly you go, and then I think we might invite Pinball up because he
Yeah.
has a different opinion to everyone else.
And a
Okay.
counter argument for Andrew's voice, apparently.
Yes.
This I got it.
Okay, so basically, I would love to discuss the meta sense of what Fazbear Frights, the epilogues, Tales, and the trilogy are compared to the games. The trilogy was being set up around the same time as FNaF 3 and releasing around FNaF 4's Stitch location, right?
Yes.
So a lot of that was planned ages ago, and it's of course a different telling of some of that original story. If you look at Frights would definitely be another different telling, an alternate universe of all the old stuff, but and okay, people have pointed this out. You know how Scott said that the new novels, the Frights, would be filling in holes from the past.
Right.
Think about this. Even if Stitchline is canon, that's not what the Stitchwraith is doing. Everything Stitchwraith is future. It's post FNaF 6.
Yeah, from when it was being written, yeah.
So, think about this. All of Frights, or at least whatever Frights is old stuff. Trilogy's mostly old stuff. Some of, like, Fourth Closet seems to be maybe around Security Breach sort of relevant stuff. But the Stitchwraith is an alternate telling of Security Breach. Look at Afton getting where can I draw a parallel?
You're saying, like, Eleanor would be the Vanny?
Sort of, but mostly look at Afton as the Amalgamation's defeat in Stitchwraith, and then we keep thinking in the games he's going to turn into this big amalgamation. Maybe he got absorbed in the blob. I don't think that strikes twice.
That's a good point.
He's not going to be this big scrap amalgamation over here, die. Okay, he could. You know what?
He goes, this time it'll work.
FNaF he could, but it's like it seems like it'd be more of a parallel than something that would actually strike twice in the same span of time.
And I think you have grounds to be right if Ruin goes that path. I think
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
And then if you want to rope Tails into it, Tails is debatably actually canon to Security Breach and stuff. So
I don't think it's debatable.
Well, I think that's heads or tails.
Well,
Heads
I
or
mean, like,
tails.
I don't mean the episodes. I mean the main Tales content, like the stories. But if anything, they are indeed what would, if canon, bridge the gap between FNaF 6 and Security Breach. When we thought that's what Frights did, but Frights and the Stitchwraith didn't do that.
I'm interested to see if that's what it's going to do. Yeah.
I think that's what
we're building up a timeline. I've been saying this a lot, and I've made timeline videos on the Pizzaplex, but I think it's building us a timeline.
Now, again, as Pinball is pointing out in the chat, if Eleanor is the cause of frailty, if Eleanor shows up in the games, that changes a lot for me, and I would definitely
Yeah.
consider Stitchline Games again because I think, like I said earlier, I don't think there can be like, oh, Eleanor's in the games now, but wait, nope, she's not the one from the Frights. Like that would just seem very
Should we get
contrived
Pinball in
and out
here
of nowhere.
to
Yeah, I think
explain?
maybe is it pinball time?
I think
It's
so.
pinball time.
Pinball time. Up on
Waluigi Pinball. He's been on before. He's coming on again.
Has he? Oh wait, yeah, that was an
Yeah.
episode I wasn't there for. Yeah.
It was just me and underscore for that one. That was so sad.
Oh, I don't remember it.
All right. Yeah, you guys talked about Ruin, I think. Also,
Yeah.
news Darkroom episode thumbnail just dropped.
Oh,
Looks pretty good.
Oh.
Just saying.
Very cool.
Whoa.
But yeah.
Anyway, Pinball, are you gonna
It's
accept
not
the hand up
dropped, but
that I've
it's
given you?
it's almost done.
Never mind then. Da 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 da.
Pinball, speak. Come up. Welcome.
Step on up to the stage.
You've been invited. You can take a stand.
Well, this is awkward.
Somebody, 3 minutes? Or I mean, okay, we stall for 3 minutes.
Okay, listen. Stitchline Games is a stupid theory. Everyone who believes it is stupid. If you believe a theory,
Psychic.
I don't believe in
No.
you. Stupid.
No,
Sorry.
no, that's not how we FNaF.
That's not how we FNaF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I think it's a cool theory. Whether it's true or not,
Yep.
it's a very cool concept, and I believed it for a long time. It's unfortunate that it's come this far, and I've just kind of turned 180. But it's cool nevertheless.
Either way, it's cool. Either way, and this also, I think this is really important to point out. This does not devalue the Frights. The Frights are still the best thing, in my opinion, that the series has had in years.
Totally.
And just because it's not in the game's timeline, that's completely fine. It still makes the Frights amazing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
it absolutely does.
I just.
All right.
Yeah.
Evan has just posted
I-
something that I will read.
I like it because I like the idea of just having info about stuff that happens outside of the games, like what happens in between.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we all said we love the books as well. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of course,
Who
we want them
doesn't?
to be canon.
I miss the trilogy. They're so classic.
True. Alright, so Evan has just said in chat, Princess Quest and a lot of other stuff in Security Breach and Tales implies William will combine with the Blob and become the Apton amalgamation in the Ruin DLC, something which happens in Fazbear Frights, but after he's defeated, that's when Eleanor, a character who's been hiding in the shadows, actually becomes the main villain. What if, or no, if William becomes the Apton amalgamation, it would make sense that the DLC will be his final outing, oh gosh, I hope, and will set up a future villain, possibly Baby/Elizabeth, who, if I'm correct about her being Patient 46, has been doing things from the shadows, and will only after Afton is gone become the main villain. Not Eleanor per se, but it's that Eleanor represents something we will see in the future, rather than Eleanor herself just being in the games. Yeah, if that's true.
Listen,
if
I
this-
do not like the idea of Baby being the next villain.
Really don't like
Okay,
it. Yeah.
I
I have
don't
two
think-
don't
pitches
like
I don't
if
think
you
it would
want.
be. I don't think it would be Baby, but if there's like an Eleanor-like character that just isn't named Eleanor, then yeah, I'd be fine. That'd be
Look,
fine.
I have
as
two
long as
pitches.
it's like straight up not Eleanor, then I'm fine.
Do you want the two pitches? I've saturated it down to just two options of who is a Eleanor-esque parallel.
Oh God.
Okay.
Look. One simple answer. It's Vanny. Okay, she's just helping
I could-
after.
Yeah.
Problem is, when he gets destroyed, she turns good, and that's not
That is a
something
good
that Baby
point.
was ever gonna do. Second option, dudes. Does anybody know my favorite version of Baby?
I'm guessing fourth closet.
Have you guys ever heard of Pod Baby? The one in the pod?
Oh my gosh.
Underscore, you've talked to this
You're-
about this like 50 bloody times. We
I-
don't want to keep hearing it.
Just
I
give him
don't
2 years.
remember
Give him
that.
2 years.
We
Listen,
know you have a crush on Pod Baby.
Pod Baby.
No,
She's gonna appear in Ruin, and she is going to be the Eleanor variant in the games. Okay.
Okay, but then what would that mean for frailty?
It would just be a
Uh,
reference to Scott's work. It's like
uh,
Hi, Pinball.
there any
Hi,
book?
Pinball.
Hello, Psychic. Were there any book references in Security Mysterious Rage?
No.
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
One-
the arcade games in
Hey,
the snack space, but
the circus. The circus.
circus.
Well, just watch. Give me. When is Ruin gonna come out?
Like February?
Give me that amount of
2023.
time.
Or at least I always envisioned
2
February.
years?
Is that true? I forget. Did they ever say? Or is it
There's
just
only
2023?
2023.
Okay, cool. I for some reason I always remember there's like, oh, they announced February, but I don't know where I got that, but
It's gonna be December the 31st.
What?
I
What's gonna be
forgot
December
if there were
the
31
31st?
days in
Sorry,
December.
what's gonna be December the 31st, Ozone?
just
Ruin.
Okay, ruin.
It's like they're
Anyways,
gonna add like a
Pinball.
leap day to the. Anyway, yeah.
Pinball, you said you had something to say about Andrew's voice and maybe just anything else because you were, I don't know if you still are over the course of this chat, but you at least were a very staunch supporter of Stitchline Games, so we can get like a
I was a very big supporter. I mean, when Tug released, that's when I started believing.
Hug.
Me too. So.
Tug being the ultimate guy.
I probably pushed you along to believe it too.
Maybe actually.
Yeah.
So, and then I stopped believing it from the least likeliest person I thought I would believe it from.
Bro, you stopped believing it for like 2 seconds.
No. I stopped believing it, and then I was like, no, wait, Evan's video sucks.
You stopped.
Still believe it.
Dang.
Okay.
Throwing
Wait. No.
shade.
Let me tell you more details about this story. Pinball believes Stitchline, then he hops in, posts Evan's video, says I don't believe Stitchline, then and he says I love this video. Then like I swear not even a day later he's like, I believe Stitchline, Evan's video sucks. That is what you did.
We do. I'm not the same theorist I was that.
Okay, buddy.
I'm
You
not
say
the
that
same
so
theorist
often.
I was.
5 minutes ago. I'm not the same theorist I was.
The character
arc.
arcs.
Hey, if you become 1% better every day, you're like a lot better at the end of the year.
365% better.
So, in UCM,
That's not how it works, but yeah.
In UCM,
That's how
you need
percents
to
work.
Look, I'm going to talk about Andrew now.
No, it's
in
1
UCM,
point. Yeah.
You said 1.
No. Wait. Okay. Sorry, Thimble. I have to teach this guy math.
Oh,
If
thought
you're
you meant-
1% better every day, if you're 1%,
Don't you mean maths? Maths with an S? Maths?
if you're 1% better every day, you're timesing by 0.1. You're not adding. Anyway. Yeah.
Cool, maths.
we good now?
Yes. Carry on.
All right. So, in UCM, we hear Orville talking, but then you have, the little spirit talking quietly in the background. People have argued that this goes absolutely against Andrew, which isn't the case. It's just a completely different scenario. In the epilogues, very early ones, he's saying it very angry. It sounded like he was throwing down a challenge. Here, he's very angry, and he's yelling at Jake. In UCN, he's just talking very quietly, because that's how I was doing with Will.
Yeah.
It was just a different set of scenarios. It was just his tone. It's not how he naturally sounds.
Yeah, I think that was sort of along the lines of what I was saying earlier, as far as it was just like the situation and his tone, rather than just a quality of his voice. Because, like, if you think about why would his voice be rough?
Yeah, I mean that doesn't make sense.
But yeah, very very interesting. Overall, the discussions have been very interesting today.
This has been a very
Yeah.
enlightening discussion.
Yeah.
So very
That's
enlightening.
All right,
And
anything else, Pinball?
if
Or
if the audio listeners are like, this is enlightening, tell us.
yeah, and make sure to join the Discord.
I was going to say make sure to stroke our egos and tell us this is very enlightening.
Make sure to make sure that you share the podcast with 10 friends and tell them to share it with 10
I do
friends,
have
and then tell
something
them to share it
I
with
do
10
have-
friends. It's like a pyramid
Or you'll be
scheme.
cursed.
Don't start one of them email chain things.
Or Haps will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I do have something to bring up. In Toy Chica's high school years, the classic cutscene.
Oh, yes.
Ozone's
Love that
most
one.
popular video is on this cutscenes. It shows Toy Chica planning out 7 victims. Those are her victims. Now, this can be accounted for the MCI.
Toy Chica is
Charlie.
William Afton.
Toy Chica is William Afton, guys. Can be counted that for the MCI, obviously, Charlie, and then who? Really, I mean, who do you think it could be? And then Curse of Dreadbear came out, and it gave 8 grams. People like to point out that the other last 2 could be bite victim Elizabeth. I can see the Elizabeth argument since William built Baby, but that's not the case for Fredbear. Fredbear was built by Henry. That blood is not on William's hands. So who could the last grave be?
That is a good point.
Who
I think
could
that's a
the
good point.
last grave be? MCI, Charlie, Elizabeth, and then who? I think this UCN spirit is somewhat special. Not just a randomly chosen one out of the bunch.
Mrs. Afton.
It's not Michael Brooks, dude. This is where I think Andrew comes in.
Okay.
Just-
Wait, there are only 7.
Since I can't really find a good placement for this last grade for the trip.
That is a good point. I think that is a good counter argument of like Andrew not being in the games.
Is
Exists in the game. But
I
it's-
wasn't listening to
Didn't show.
I wasn't listening to anything. Is the 8 just not the 5 MCI Charlotte Elizabeth and the Crying Child? Is that not just the 8?
Well, the thing is, it can't be the Crying Child because William didn't kill him.
Well, he didn't kill Elizabeth either.
No,
That is
I
also a
just
good
presented-
point.
No.
It was
no.
secondhand.
Can I? Okay. So with Elizabeth, he built Baby. Baby kills Elizabeth.
Yeah, he has the blood on his hands.
I'm not
Second-
necessarily sure this is all his victims. It's just everyone that's I'm dying. A remnant of every one of these 8s in the circuit boards. I'm not sure if it doesn't mean that there's
Okay.
victims. It's just there.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just,
It's
just
just-
people who
it's
have
just-
died up to that point.
It's just the remnants of who's actually in the circuit boards,
I like that theory.
and then it's William in the center. Because that's everyone who would be to a certain extent present in UCN anyways, and whatever's in UCN gets
Essentially, yeah,
transferred to.
the eight important dead people.
Like, Dreadbear is all almost Crying Child, and I wouldn't have said Crying Child was in
Wait,
the circuit boards if Curse of Dreadbear didn't look a lot like, 83, the Bite,
could
all
the
that.
queen? Could the queen have?
Gone to the circuit boards.
She's important.
Where was this joke going?
So
I don't know.
under the idea that this is his victims and not your circuit board theory.
Yes, I have great
you-
circuit board theory.
Let's go on to the idea that Scott was just showing his victims, which makes sense. William built Baby. Baby kills Elizabeth. Technically, that blood is on William's hands. But Henry built Fredbear. Fredbear
Sure.
kills White Victim. That's not one of William's even impartial kills.
I would agree with that.
So would it have to be another victim?
And
Alright, guys,
we-
hear me out.
we
Hear
learned
me
about-
out.
we learned about
Evan in the
special
chat is
weapon.
saying that William made BV scared, but BV being scared isn't what killed him. Mike put him in the mouth, not like that doesn't add up. And if you do want that to add up, that is insanely stretchy.
I could see stretching it really far to just say William by proxy killed the Crying Child, but I'd rather
like,
say it's just.
it's
I'd
like-
rather say it's just who's in the circuit boards.
Listen,
It's how far you want to go down the butterfly effect.
Yes.
Evan, I think that Mike would be taken in the court. not
Alright,
William.
guys.
Yeah,
Okay, listen.
Mike is the one who was scaring
Listen,
him more
guys.
than William was.
BV
Child neglectors.
Guys,
I
listen,
just wanted-
listen, guys. BV is the one you should not have killed. Henry is in hell. There you go.
Oh yes, of course.
Do you remember when I asked why are you here?
Honestly,
Because the file
Psychic, that could be a good explanation.
No.
Wait, what?
No.
He's not toysing.
No.
We're not doing that.
All the voice lines talking about how the player is evil.
Did you say Mike's in hell and it's the
Henry
Crying Child?
by victim though.
Alright, for real.
Okay.
What if?
No, it's not Henry. It's the player of UCN.
Anything
I swear to
anything
God.
more to say, Pinball, or do we move on?
Alright. On my final note, I believe Mike Trap got confirmed with pressure. That is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, he's gone.
I also believe it.
Wait, no, he's back. How did this happen?
Okay. Because.
we're not talking about somnophobia. No
I
spoilers.
mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's definitely joking, but like
Oh.
either way.
Oh.
He was about
Um,
to. You know what? Straight up, he actually was about to ramble on about pressure.
Oh
Or
no.
not really.
No, get,
Why are you
is he
here?
still here? How does he keep getting back in?
Oh, he's a moderator.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right.
I love how we
That's
just figured
right.
that out.
Take it away.
We add him to the mod team only to like, only to
So,
forget that he's there.
Is this
Dang
the
it.
end, or do we want to keep going?
What time do
Yeah,
we
do
have?
we
I
have-
have no idea.
Do we have any final thoughts? Because we are getting pretty far into the episode.
I just want to say thank you everybody for being respectful today.
Yes.
It's always nice to have non-toxic theorists in the chat.
Yeah,
And,
non-toxic theory discussions are always really fun because it reminds you that we're not doomed as a society. Contrary
Oh my
to the
gosh.
rest, contrary to how the rest of the community would make it look.
Meanwhile, Reddit.
Meanwhile,
There's this. I'm not gonna talk about that. Never mind.
All right, so very good episode, I'd say. Very good discussion. Thank you all for
Yeah.
dropping by as far as the live chat. Yeah, it's always fun doing these live episodes. And we hope that you join the next one. If you are just listening, make sure once again join the Discord server.
Subscribe.
Will the link be in the description, Psychic?
The link
I
will
like
be in
the live
description.
ones more than the private ones we do.
Very cool. Very cool.
Next
so
season
join
we better do all live.
on the Discord. I don't know. Well, all live is tricky, but like maybe we can talk about it. We can.
Yeah, this is fun getting other people in to talk.
I
Yeah,
love
this is our
live.
first time doing that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Subscribe. I'm almost at
If you're-
400. I'm so
Yep.
close.
if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you're on YouTube, like the video. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Share the podcast with any of your friends that like FNAF.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Do
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Are we
This
still the
season has been
only
doing
FNAF
really well
podcast?
so far, so it's
Mhm.
things are great. So thank you all for dropping by.
Stay
And
tuned
I
for our
guess
Halloween episode.
All right, guys, hear me
Yes, that'll
out.
be
Hear me
fun.
out. Andrew's beefy.
okay. Anyways,
Okay.
thank you for watching.
That's the end of the episode.
And yeah, I think I've been like kind of accidentally just doing the outros recently.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's a nice change.
Well then,
But yeah, is
That's gonna wrap it up.
there truly peace? Will there be peace to
Absolutely
get
not.
today?
Absolutely.
yeah, never.
not.
we may be on the same page roughly as far as Stitchline Games, but saying there will ever be peace in the FNAF community is going a bit far. I'd say.
Yeah, true.
Stay tuned
But,
for the next episode where we talk about a controversy. I'm sure it's gonna happen. It always does.
Ah yes, we just become a
But Matt
drama
Pat.
podcast.
The Mapad ARG2.
Anyways, I think that's it. So bye everybody. I don't even do the
Bye.
podcast, so it's
Dude, next
just
time
like,
we're talking about the freaking the cloak brand controversy.
Say peace.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
_ say peace. It's your thing.
Peace. Peace.
Yeah. All right. Yay.
Choo choo.